Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Beth. I go by the username Be More Creative both here on Flosstube and on Instagram. So we're here with Flosstube 53 that I think should be titled The One with the Background Noise. We have multiple summer schools on the campus at the moment. As you can see, all of my background has completely changed. I'm in a different room, so it feels a little bit echoey to me because I don't have much stuff in here. But also you've got the kids running around. There's a school that has a lot of younger children, so from the ages of kind of 7 to 14, and then you've got my group, which is like 14 to 18. So there is a lot of noise, but it is like happy noise. They're running around laughing. Mine are playing Uno in the corridor. I've been trying to wait for a quiet moment to film all day, and it just has not happened. So we're just going to try and grab the moment as we can. I have got the windows closed, so it is now boiling hot in here, but at least hopefully you won't hear too much of the kids outside. And mine are at the other end of the corridor, so hopefully the phone isn't going to be picking up their noise, but I do apologise. It is a happy noise. I'm enjoying listening to it, but I do want to try and get this video out for you guys where you can actually hear it. So let's just jump in before it gets way too noisy. So today I have quite a few finishes. I have quite a few that were starts and finishes and little surprise pieces that weren't on my whip list at all, but I just fancied stitching them. So we're going to jump straight, I can't even talk today. We're going to jump straight in with probably my favourite finish. You've seen this one as I've stitched it in the SAL. This is Dreaming of Summer SAL by Love Poppets. Now this chart is now available as a printed chart, the whole piece, because it came out in the SAL. It was 5 pieces, or you can get this as a full kit as well. So you can get a PDF chart or a printed chart from her website. Her charts are really lovely to read. During the SAL we received a version that was in colour, which I'm very happy about because I prefer stitching from a colour chart, but you also got a black and white symbol version if that is what you preferred. So absolutely loved how it came, really enjoyed every part of it. And this one really shocked me because this was not one that I thought I would, when I saw the house, I thought I would kind of turn away from it a little bit, but I absolutely love stitching it. It was so much fun. The way she's designed it, the colours are gorgeous. So with this one, I was gifted the kit, but I had already purchased the PDF. So thank you so much to Claire for gifting me the kit so I could stitch along using the cord foil colours and the cord foil fabric. I went with a 32 count, which I really enjoyed stitching on, and I have finished mine as a flat fold. So as you know, I have packed up my room. I've packed everything up. I did have a few pieces of sticky board left. I kept a few out and I managed to finish this. I had some fabric that was in the students' common room as well as some little edge ribbon, and I decided to use that to finish my piece off. And I really love doing that. So if you are doing stitch from stash, I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end because I have had a lot of questions, but this gave me £17 towards the finish, that piece. And I do love how this one just sits up on display. I've had lots of people comment on how gorgeous it is, and a few people have asked me to stitch it for them. So it is an absolutely lovely piece. The colours really pop. I think the fabric that she picked, the 32 count, I'm not sure if it's ivory or cream, but it is absolutely stunning. So love that one. The next one is also finished as a flat fold. These are the only two, well, I've got 3 FFOs. This is the second one, and this is Pumpkin Boo. This is my freebies on the 17th for the month of July. Those who watched last Flosstube knew that I was really struggling with designing a piece for July. I'd already done the 2 that I have coming out in August. Yes, there are 2. There's Cross Stitch Day again and the freebies on the 17th. But for some reason for July, I had designed about 6 or 7 different charts, and each one of them I kind of kept saying, no, I don't like the look of it. I don't think it's what I'm wanting. And then I kind of gave myself the freedom to say, do you know what? If I don't have one designed, I don't have one designed. And then I realised that the biggest issue I was having was everyone's stitching Christmas in July, and this year, for the first year, I'm just not feeling it. I really have been enjoying my Halloween and my autumn stitching, so I created this little guy. So this is Pumpkin Boo. I won't talk too much about it because it is over. There is a separate video where you can actually get the free chart for this one. It's stitched in DMC on a 32 count antique white, or I don't know, antique white or cream. I'm not really sure what the colour was, but it's a Supply Gut 32 count for that one. The next one I have to show you is the last FFO, and this is a little artist trading card. We did an activity with the students for artist trading cards, and I created this one. This is the little travel stump. This is a free chart from Kate Stitcher's Facebook group. If I can, I will link the Facebook group down below. She does offer a few free charts. It's the first time I've stitched one of her charts. I did change the colours because I used some of the leftover colours from Dreaming of Summer Sale, because this sale did have a lot of thread left over, which I really like, because then if you don't have to worry about if you go wrong in the pattern, you have enough thread. But also it meant that I just use it as my stitch from the desk challenge. So every now and then, if I want to start something new, just a quick little piece, or if I'm doing something for my stitching journal, I can just use whatever thread is on my desk, and that's what I use for this one. This one is stitched on the plastic canvas, the 14 count plastic canvas that you can get, stitched with, as I said, DMC threads from the Dreaming of Summer sale. There is some back stitch in here, and then I've just backed it onto the artist trading card. This is also some of the thread from the sale, but really enjoyed it. And I'm not trading my card, it was just an example I created for the students. The next piece I have finished is not actually FFO'd, but this will go into my stitching journal probably, and this is another freebie that I released on my channel. So we watched the England football game, and as a lot of people know, Spain did win, but they did play a lot better. But I decided I wanted to still record this, and I did this before the match. So what I did was, we got back from a school trip, we had like 45 minutes of downtime, so I designed this little freebie chart. And what was really nice is a few people, I did put it out last minute, so some people didn't even realize I put something out, but I put it out on my social media if anyone wanted to stitch the free chart, and I got this designed in the 45 minutes before the game and stitched up during the game. So it was finished by the end of the game, which was really nice because I'm going to remember the fact that I stitched this during the match, and then I will be finishing this in my journal. So this is stitched with on a scrap of Chromatic Alchemy in 18 count. The red is a Cottage Garden thread red carnation, which is one I got last month, and then DMC 310. So on the chart, I just left this as a monochromatic piece, and you just pick whatever colours you want, whatever count you want. It was just a little freebie just to go in the kind of stitching memory journal. So really enjoyed that one. The last finish I have, which I think is really good for 3 weeks. So the Dreaming of Summer Sale has been a build up for the past month and a half, 2 months, I think, because it's like every 2 weeks we got a new section out, but the rest of them have all been started and stitched within the past 2 weeks. So the last one I have is I am working on Witch's Pantry. So I showed you in the first one the toads that I had fully stitched, and I've decided this is my Colorado cross-stitching summer camp piece for 2024 July. And I decided I was going to go with just one of them, but I stitched that in like 2 days while I was off. I thought that was a little bit cheating on my part towards the challenge, even though you could just do that if you wanted to. So I've decided I'm stitching all 3 of them, and I'm going to have it as a little pillow because I don't have a Halloween tree, and I don't have too much space on my pegboards to hang smaller things. So I thought if I stitch all 3 of these are the same size, they're the same shape, so I'm stitching it as a little pillow. So I have a finish on the eyes, and my only current whip I started last night is the Helping Hands one at the bottom. So I'm going to show you, because it's all on the same fabric, you can see. So I finished the eyes, and I am currently working on the hands piece. I started that one yesterday. This is on an 18 count, sorry, this is Coffee Crafts, not Chromatic Alchemy. I don't know why I had that in my head. This is also a Coffee Crafts 18 count. It's one of her greenish mottled with black and grey Halloween fabric. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to be doing a lot of my Halloween pieces on this. And as I said, I am working on this one currently, and then that will be turned into a pillow in September. I probably won't be doing too much FFOing over the summer just because I don't have the supplies with me as I'm traveling. I'm still trying to work out which pieces I'm going to be taking with me, because I am back at the school currently, so this will be the last time I am at the school for a while. There are still other people working, but I've just got my annual leave booked in. So this is the one that I'm currently working on. This is the only whip that I am putting any effort into at the moment, but hopefully I'll get this one finished within the next few days. They are a bit busier at work, but I am off next week. I have a nice little week of annual leave before Big Stitch. So I'll be working on that one, and hopefully I will have that piece finished. So those are all the finishes, and I did forget to say Pumpkin Boo is £7 in the Stitch from Stash challenge if you're doing it. The travel stamp, that is £3. The England football game is £7, and I do sometimes ask myself, like, this is a full coverage piece to stitch and yet it's £3, and then this one's £7. It seems a bit off, but I'm just going by the rules of what they say on the sizes. I am counting these, even though they're all together, I am counting them as individual finishes because they are charted as individual finishes. I have worked it out. It doesn't really matter if I say it's all together or one piece. So at the moment I've counted it individually, so that's £7 for that finish, and then this one will also be £7, but I will see at the end if that's how I'm fully going to go with it. It really depends on how I'm seeing it. So they're individual, they're charted individually. I'm just putting them together, so I'm just taking it as an individual piece for each one. Sometimes I do combine them if it makes a huge difference, but on that one it's really not going to make too much of a difference. So on to a little bit of haul. So last time I mentioned that Marnie's mixed bag was closing down. We're very sorry to see her go. She has now fully closed her shop. I'm hoping everyone has got her pieces. It was taking it. She had a huge influx of orders, as you can imagine, with a closing down sale. So things are taking a little bit longer to ship out. So I picked up Ink Circles Arranging Leaves. I just thought this chart was super cute, and I've not really done too many ink circles, so I thought this might be nice, especially because I'm doing a lot of autumn and Halloween stitching at the moment. I did get 2 pieces of the Swigart pre-cut Murano in 32 count. I got the colour that I've done for Pumpkin Boo, so I do have that one. It was just already in the fabric box because I've been using it. And then I got this one, which is the same as the Sal piece, because I loved stitching the Sal colour on this, so it's like the ivory cream. And I've already put in the back of it because I've already decided to kit this up. I did pick up 11 skeins of the DMC 4130, which is this gorgeous orange, pink, red thread from DMC. It's one of their variegated ones. She had 11 skeins of that, and because I was looking at long dog samplers, yes, I already have a few of these that I haven't started, but she had a sale on, so the one that I fell in love with was the Sans Souci one. So I did get the paper copy. I think I might make a digital copy, like a working copy to stitch from, because I am finding it a bit difficult to do the paper version of this. Some people do prefer it, but for me, I much like the digital where I can zoom in a little bit. But this was a really good deal. I think I got this for less than £10. So I decided I was going to try and kit it up, and I'm loving stitching on 32 count, so I've got 32 count, and the colour of thread I'm going to use is that 4130. I think it would look really cool. I am really trying to get into variegated threads. I haven't been a huge variegated thread stitcher up until this point. I have kind of struggled with it a little bit, but I've seen so many people stitch with variegated threads, and I've really been enjoying using the cottage garden thread. But I thought if I tried to kit one of these up with the cottage garden thread, it was going to cost a fortune. And in her sale, these were like 70p a skein, and I think I probably have enough to stitch up this piece. Actually, they were less than 70, they were like 60p or something, 50, 60p. I thought it'd be worth it to just give it a go, and if I really don't like it, then I'm sure I can find another use for the thread. I do like using the variegated thread for the banding around like pillows and also flat folds. I quite enjoy making my own cording using that. But this is one of the charts that I'm actually trying to debate whether I want to take with me for the summer and actually start, because as I said, I have a few long dog samplers. I've just not actually started them. So that was haul from last month that has just come in. And then you guys have seen on my channel Canny Little Fox, who also has a website now, so do make sure you check out her website. Currently on the website she has mugs and stickers, and the website does ship internationally. I'm not sure how she's going to be doing the bag sales, whether it will still be on her Instagram or if it will be via her website now. I'm not entirely sure, but definitely go check out her website and give that a follow. I picked up 2 of her bags in the bag sale. So one of them was actually in the bag sale, which was this one, which was the wintry themed. I decided to go for more of a wintry one than a Christmas one. I'm absolutely loving her folios. I've been using them non-stop since I got the London one. I do love her 4-pocket one. I tend to use the 4-pocket one for storage, and then I'm moving my active whips into these ones so that way I can attach my scissors and my thread. I put some needles on the felt here, and then I've got everything to go, so if I forget my sewing box I still can work on an active kit. So this is the one that I actually bought from her sale, and then I asked her if she could do me a Halloween one because I'm into Halloween stitching. She sent me so many photos of gorgeous fabrics. This is the one that I chose to go with. Absolutely love it. And then as you can see, I've got this is from Love Poppets. It's one of her wooden needle minders. I've got some needles on here, my pair of scissors clipped in nice and safe, and then I can put my project. This is what I'm currently keeping the Witch's Pantry by Hands On Design in, and then I can just grab this and I'm ready to go. So it's been really great for me because I can just shove this in my bag. I've got a bag for work that fits A4 folders. This is, I think it's a little bit bigger than A4, so you can put your A4 chart in here. It tucks in quite safely. But yeah, so those are what I've been buying. I absolutely love these. I will probably be getting more throughout the year because now I'm hooked on these. As I said, the little 4-pocket ones I do love. They're a bit smaller than this. You can fit 4 projects in one. So for traveling, they're great. What I'm doing is for the summer, I'm taking one of those and I'm putting 4 pieces in there I want. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to take 1 or 2 of these, but probably 2 knowing me. Definitely my Halloween one, and I might be, maybe I'll put some Christmas ornaments in the other ones so I can stitch those. So I am, as I said, I'm going to Big Stitch next week. I have booked up for 2 of the classes and I've got 2 of the exclusive patterns that I've ordered. One of them is from the guest designer there, Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, and I picked up this gorgeous colour last month called Gumnut from Cottage Garden Threads. I've been buying mine from Poppy Patch, who get them out so quickly. So I decided I wanted to get some more Gumnut. The ones that I've got in are a slightly different shade, but they do still work really well together. So I got 2 more shades of Gum Nut from Cottage Garden Threads, and I placed the order on Sunday and I got them on Tuesday. So really quick turnaround. And I have also signed up for their advent calendar. They're doing a Cottage Garden Christmas advent calendar, which I cannot wait for. It's a 4 monthly payment of something like £28, so it's quite good. You get 24 or 25 skeins, but these are 10-meter skeins, so I have got 3. As you can see, there's a little bit of difference with this one, but it does still blend in enough. This is what I've decided I am going to be probably stitching, the exclusive Big Stitch from Modern Folk Embroidery, because that is something I've decided I'm going to start. While I'm there, I'm going to be starting that one, and that will probably be one of my main focus stitches. As I said, I'm not 100% sure because this is my first retreat and I don't know what to expect. So I've got 2 classes, 2 exclusive kits, and I cannot wait. So, the last thing that I had to show you is I received my Love Poppet subscription box. So I got asked a lot about Stitch from Stash, do subscription boxes count? The ones that you sign up before you start the challenge, or if it replaces another subscription box, then no, it doesn't. So I don't include this in my Stitch from Stash. So if you don't want to see what's in here, please feel free to turn away just for a few minutes. This has already been publicised, it has been posted. Claire has also shown pictures on her social media, so I don't feel like I'm giving anything away by showing the design, but some of the elements in the boxes you may not want to see. So the design for this kit is this one, Everything's Peachy. And in the kit you get your gorgeous threads. This one has got a lot of greens on this one. Absolutely love it. It's definitely out of my comfort zone, this one. You get a needle, you get a little information leaflet. You get, I think this is 16 count, so sometimes she does 14 count, sometimes she does 16 count. And then you have your pattern, which this month it's not in colour. So this month I've got a black and white version of the pattern, but the symbols are very different. Let me show you. The symbols are really quite clear. I'm not sure if it is meant to be a coloured pattern as well. Last month we had a black and white, 2 months ago we had the black and white and the coloured. I just got the black and white, but that will work absolutely fine. And there is a close-up of the image. So that is what you get in the actual kitted part. Now, if you don't want to see the extras, please turn around just for a minute. I'm not going to talk through these because people might not want to see what they are. So the first thing we got one of these as well. These I think are gorgeous, and I need to find out where these came from because I'd love to, if it's a small business, I'd love to support them and get some more of those. And then we got this gorgeous piece here. Okay, so I will probably talk more about that when I actually get around to stitching that piece. But just in case no one wants to see what the extras are, you can turn back now. So that is everything for the Flosstube. I am going to talk about stitching from Stash. So if you are not interested in hearing about that challenge or what I feel about the challenge, then please go ahead, log out now. No upset there. I will be seeing you. I will probably be doing a video about Big Stitch. I'm excited about Big Stitch, so I'll probably be doing that. I also might be doing, I'm trying to work out, but I really want to try a 24 hours challenge. Like there is the 24 hours across stitch group and they do the weekends, but the problem is all of those weekends either coincide with my work or things that I already have planned. So I might be trying to do one of those myself. I just want to do like a little challenge over the summer and see how I get on with that. But yeah, I will be back for my regular Flosstube in 2 weeks' time, and I will see you all then. But if you do want to stay for the little chat about Stitch from Stash, that's what I'm going to be answering all the questions that I've received regarding that challenge right now. So Stitch from Stash is a challenge that I found on Facebook. It's run by, I believe it's a lady called Stephanie. I do apologise if I'm getting that wrong. I will link the Facebook group down below. So I've tried Stitch from Stash before and I kind of did okay with it, but I also wasn't logging things as clearly as I should be. But this year I'm really trying to keep myself accountable. A lot of you have been checking out my whip list that I have down below, and you've noticed that the second tab is my Stitch from Stash challenge tab, and I've kept it there. I've kept everything in one place, one because it's easier for me, so I know I don't have to go looking for things, because I found if I have to go looking for something, it is not going to get done. And this way I can just go on, if I purchase something, I can put it on straight away. So the Stitch from Stash challenge I have been doing quite well with this year, and I really have been trying to work it out. So that I said at the start of the year, there is a few things that I am not including on there. So when I do fabric sales from Coffee Craft Designs, I am not putting that fabric onto my Stitch from Stash, because I found that 9 times out of 10 I am designing my freebies on the Coffee Craft fabric. I really enjoy her fabrics, so I kind of have been putting that under a little bit of a business purchase for me. Not that I have a business account or anything, it's just in my head I see it as that. Now, do I use that fabric for my own stuff? Of course I do, 100%. But if I put that into my budget, then I wouldn't be able to buy any when they come out on the Super Sunday, and I really think that would affect my cross stitching. I don't really get a whole lot of fabric anymore. I used to be in the Chromatic Alchemy Club. I've heard that they're kind of not closing down, but they're closing the doors for a little while, which is quite sad, but I understand completely. She's in a new chapter of her life, and Kate's got to work on that. I am part of the Patchwork Rabbit Club, which I was including originally. Even though that was a subscription I started before, I kind of counted it into my cross stitch budget that I give myself. I have a set amount of a budget that I do not want to go over unless I've earned additional for that. So, but that one was monthly. It's gone to every other month. So what I tend to do is I kind of switch out between the Coffee Crafts. There'll be one month where I'm like, okay, I really love these fabrics, I'm going to pick these ones up. And the next month I'm really selective and say that I can only get 1 or 2. So I am quite good at balancing that out. I'm not doing Stitch from Stash challenge because I need to. I'm doing it because I want to. I found in the previous years I have been quite bad at just collecting cross stitch stuff. I'm one of those people that goes all in. I'm either all in or I'm not in at all. And that is how I've built up my fabric and my threads and my designs patterns. But over the past few years, I've also started designing my own designs. So a lot of things I stitch generally are my own designs. So for instance, if I've got someone's birthday coming up, I tend to design something for that rather than getting patterns. So I have been doing a lot of de-stashing of patterns. So what I decided this year was I was going to do the Stitch from Stash challenge, and that would be any of my smaller purchases and kind of give me a reason to finish things, because I have been finding I start whips, I put them down, walk away, and I'm not getting those finished. And this year with the Stitch from Stash challenge, it has been making me go, okay, do you know what, if I finish that I get £17 towards whatever budget I'm doing. So that one has been really effective for me, and that's the main reason I've been doing it. Gonna have a little look at the July breakdown. As I said, all the other months are up there. There is only 1 month which I was in the negative for, and that was when market releases started in March, because it was quite early on the year and I wasn't really focused on getting things finished. I was more focusing on, I want to stitch this, I want to stitch it now, and then I would stop that halfway through and then decide I wanted to stitch something else. So I did have 1 month where I was negative. I think I was like negative £1. It wasn't excessive, but it was that, and that did stop me spending because I wasn't allowed to spend anything until I got the stash back up. So for the month of July, currently where I start is I had a starting of 132.05, so £132 5p into the budget. Now this is just a little bit of fun. I'm not going fully by this, but I have been trying to build up my finishes, so that way at Big Stitch, that is the amount that I have to spend. Now, yes, I have signed up for classes. Yes, I have got exclusive charts. Those I did a de-stash of charts, and I kind of said to myself that whatever money I made with the de-stash of charts, fabrics and threads that I've been doing over the past few months on the Cross Stitch UK fabric swap website, Cross Stitch UK swap website on Facebook, whatever money I got from that was my budget for Big Stitch. So I've been really good, and I haven't actually spent anything additional to what I got back from those charts. So I'm quite impressed with that one. But that is why someone commented saying, yeah, but you're signed up for classes and you're signed up for exclusives. I got the money back through de-stashing of charts and fabrics, and that gave me how many classes I could sign up for. So I was quite impressed with that one, but that's what I'm doing. And I'm not explaining this to justify, but I generally had people that were asking because they really wanted to join in. So in July, I had a starting balance of £132.05. I have had a total of 6 finishes so far in the month, and that's given me £48. Now, if you go on to the Stitch from Stash Facebook group, they have the finishing grid, and they have increased the prices from last year, because obviously when you're spending things, the value of DMC has gone up. It was 70p when I started, it's now 99p. So things have gone up, so they have increased their finishing bracket. It used to be £2.50. For instance, for the smallest one, it's now £3. The next bracket up, I think, is £7. So some of these charts, like this one, probably wouldn't have got me £7 2 years ago, but it has done now. And I think it's all swings and roundabouts. As I said, like this one only got me £3, and there's a lot more stitching in this one than there is in this one. You can kind of be a bit more pedantic if you kind of know the stitch count of this. You can speak to her because this is technically a full coverage, but to be honest, I've stitched both of these this month. It's gonna equal the same. If she said to me this was £7 and this was £3, it really isn't going to change anything. So I just go with what the stitch count is. Some of them I feel like sometimes I'm like, I did all that work and it's only given me £3 in the value, but then another piece I stitched in 45 minutes and that's given me £7. It's like swings and roundabouts really for me. So expenses of this month so far, I have spent £70. So I bought the 2 project bags. Now I did round those up. Technically it's something like 58, 60, but for me it's really not worth it. I'm going to say it's £60. And then I got the 2 cottage garden threads, which once again was like £9 something. I just round it up to 10. I don't want to have to deal with the hassle of all those little, I know like 50p here, 50p there, it soon adds up, but realistically, if I wanted to spend something and I have the money to spend it, I would spend it. I'm just trying to kind of rein in my spending a little bit and keep myself accountable, which is also why I've published this, and why I'm getting questions on this and taking the time to answer it. It's just because I'm having some fun with it. So at the moment, as things currently stand, that means at Big Stitch, I have a budget of £110 and 5p. Now, I can go over that if I want to. I've got money set aside for Big Stitch, but it's more fun to try and get the finishes in, and I find it a lot more rewarding. So by saying, do you know what, I don't need to spend so much money on things. I really don't. I could go to Big Stitch and not buy anything, but it's more I'm at an event, I'm sure I'm going to buy a few things. I've already bought some things, like pre-orders and things like that. So we're just gonna, for me, it's just, I'm doing it as a bit of a challenge, but also it has really motivated me to look at what I have in my whip box and get things pulled out. So I'm sure in the next week I'm going to be crazy stitching. I'll get another one of these done, and that will be £7. That's £117. Then I'm looking at my other whips that have been going on, like the Tiny Modernist All Hallow Eves sale from last year. I'm not sure if I have that to hand. Just one second. So I've just pulled out one of my other project bags from Kenny Little Fox, and I'm like, this one, the All Hallow Eves Tiny Modernist sale. Now, I was doing Stitch from Stash last year when this came out, but I didn't count any of these because I tend to do it as a finished piece rather than each monthly section, unless the sections are huge and it's going to take me a long time to do. But like the Dreaming of Summer sale, I didn't count each section as a finish. I'm doing it as a finished piece, and then when I get it done, I get the money into that month's section. So I could turn my focus to this piece and try really hard next week to get this finished, and then that would give me, I would have a piece finished, but then it would also increase the budget that I have to spend on things. So if I see something and I really, really want to get it, I've got a reason to get it, it's a justified spend, and I've got the money for it, I will do it despite whether I have the money in the challenge budget or not. But what I have been trying to do is kind of say to myself, on certain months where I haven't done too much stitching, and for instance, one month in May, I started with £23, and for ages during May I didn't spend any money until I got enough finishes up, because I was like, what's the point? I've got all these pieces to stitch and I'm not stitching them. And by pushing myself to do the challenge, I'm actually getting the reward of stitching these pieces and getting them finished up. Like, I mean, here's another piece that I started last year that hasn't got too far left to go. This is Boo Spook Haunt, and this was an exclusive Hello from Liz Matthews chart, but I got this far and then I've put it away. There's only the ghosts and the flowers. This could be quite an easy stitch to get done and finished, and I'm really, during this Stitch from Stash challenge, I am getting things stitched and I'm getting things finished, and that is why I'm doing this challenge. Ultimately, it is not for being able to say, do you know what, I've got all this money to now spend on things, because I've been, for the past 5 months, the goal has been, okay, get the money for Big Stitch. And I have finished an amazing amount of projects. I'm just trying to see if I could find my calendar. Here it is. So I've been keeping track of what I stitch and what I finish in this little monthly calendar. But just as an example, I've got 43 finishes so far this year. 43 finishes, and that is a lot more than I had last year at this point, because I'm motivated to finish them, and that is why the Stitch from Stash challenge is working for me. It's, as I said, there are some things which some people could technically say I'm cheating on, like the fabric, but I take that as a different budget. But anything else, any other fabric or threads, so for instance cottage garden threads, project bags, which necessarily in the rules project bags don't count, but for me it's a spend that I didn't need. I didn't need to get those project bags, so I'm putting that in my Stitch from Stash challenge. I have to get enough finishes to pay for those. And there's some months where I have passed up on things because I'm like, no, I've got to be good. I only earned £52 in the challenge this month, so I don't have the additional money. So for me, Stitch from Stash is working. I'm going to be carrying it on throughout the year, and I might be in a negative this month with the big Stitch. I might see loads of things that I decide that I need to get or I really want to get. I'm not going to stop myself because I know I have birthday money, for instance, which has been put away towards big Stitch. Now, that is kind of what I'm saying is additional if I need to, but I really kind of want to earn it through the Stitch from Stash challenge. So that's all I'm doing. I am reporting in every month because I do find that if I am accountable, sorry, I do find that if I'm accountable for things, then I tend to do a lot better at it. So I have been kind of keeping up really well, and I have seen that my spending has kind of become more, not necessarily under control, because I was under control last year, but I'm really stopping myself and thinking, okay, why are you buying that thread? Because I have so much thread in my stash that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with, because I bought it because I thought that was a gorgeous colour or everyone else is buying it. And then I'm like, well, I don't know what to use this for. And I've only got one skein of it and it's hand dyed and I can't get any more of it. So it kind of becomes more of a collectible thing. Whereas now I'm like, okay, I want to start this piece at Big Stitch. I'm going to kit it up. Okay, I'm going to go with this colour. I have the colours for it. So things like that, I've become a little bit more kind of thinking before I spend the money on stuff. So yeah, so that's where I stand at the moment for the month of July. July is not yet finished, so hopefully I'll get a few more finishes in, but I don't think it's a bad challenge to do. And even for those that aren't necessarily spending, for me, the biggest thing is getting these finishes in, because I had so many whips that were so close to finishing, but because I'd kind of jumped to the next thing, I'd moved on, I haven't picked it up and I haven't finished it. Whereas this month I'm like, there's so many things that were literally an hour or two away from being done, and when I wanted to go spend money, I was like, do you know what, you can buy that if you finish this. And it really has got my whips under control. I mean, I was under 20 last year. I was under like 30 last year. I think I'm down to about 20 whips. But it's just so much fun for me. And seeing that these things are now getting finished and I can actually have them on display rather than having them sat in a box not finished, because the reason I stitch these things is to have them out. Now, I can't necessarily display everything, but there's certain things that I've got on my whip list because I know when I do get a place or when I do change jobs and I have a bigger space or whatever, I can have those out on display. And there's so many things like that which I just think are absolutely gorgeous, but I kind of stopped myself because I was like jumping to the next thing. Whereas now, especially when there's events coming up, so we got Big Stitch, I've gone through my whips and I'm like, okay, I can probably get that one knocked out this week. I can probably get that one worked on this week. And it's kind of become fun to go through this whip box and pull things out. But it doesn't stop me starting new things, designing little patterns because I want to do it. I am still doing all of that, but I'm actually getting these whips that I absolutely love and want to get done stitched. So that is, for me, Stitch from Stash Challenge. There is the new part of it is starting up, because some people only do it for 6 months of the year as a challenge. I'm going to keep going, but more for me than for anybody else. I'm just enjoying it. But if you want to go join up, the link will be down below. It's completely free to join. You can drop out at any point. It's just a little bit of a fun community group. But as I said, I'm doing it. It's motivating me to get these finishes done. And I'm not whipping through these finishes and not enjoying them. I'm enjoying the stitch of doing it. But it is also so nice to say, do you know what? I have a finish. I have something that I can now have out on display. Or if I'm not ready to display it, I've had the fun of stitching it and it can go in the box until I am ready for it. So that is what this challenge is turning out for me, and I'm really enjoying it. So I hope that answered the Stitch from Stash questions. I've kind of gone through all the questions that I had and kind of piled them together. A lot of people were just more asking how I was doing it, and did I think the challenge was worth it, which, as I've said, I completely agree. But it is quite interesting to see how much, compared to the expenses I have, compared to the finishes. Like already this month, my expenses are £70, my finishes are only totaled £48. It's only from previous months where that kind of has carried it over, so I'm still higher than I should be. I haven't included my D-stashes in there because those D-stashes I had assigned for other things. So the D-stash money went straight to paying for the groups and the exclusive and part of the hotel fees and things like that. But if I have a D-stash, then I don't include it in here. Because normally when I have a D-stash, I'm doing it for a reason, like a holiday or the Big Stitch exclusives and so on. So that is the reason for that. Now I can hear that the cleaners have started hoovering my floor, so I know it's going to get a little bit louder. So I'm going to finish here. For those that have stayed with me till the end, I hope it wasn't too much of a little ranty section at the end. I just tried to answer the questions that everyone was asking me. If you have any questions about the challenges that I'm taking part in, or about any of the things that I've spoken about today, then please do let me know. If you're going to Big Stitch, a very safe journey there, and I look forward to seeing you and meeting you there. I will be doing a little video while there, so if you want to come over and say hi, please feel free to do so. And there's also going to be a little surprise that I'm giving away while there, so I will see you all very soon. I will be back definitely in 2 weeks for a Flosstube, if not before, if I end up doing a Big Stitch exclusive video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye! Happy stitching!